Welcome, dear viewers, to an enchanting journey through the heart of Africa. Today, we bring you a tale steeped in mystery, magic, and timeless wisdom. Join us as we unravel the story of a fisherman that his life was ruined because he refused to listen to the elders that warned him not to go to the forbidden river. Please adjust your seat as you enjoy the story in detail. Story beginning. In the heart of a vibrant African village, nestled between rolling hills and the endless expanse of the savannah, the river flowed with a whispering current. This river, though beautiful, was shrouded in mystique and caution, for it was believed to harbor ancient secrets and forbidden wonders. The villagers held their traditions close, and among these was a stern warning about the river that flowed like liquid silver under the moonlight. Kofi, a young fisherman, stood on the riverbank, his newlywed wife, Amina, by his side. The dawn had barely broken, casting a soft, golden hue over the landscape. Kofi's eyes sparkled with the anticipation of a prosperous day. Just days ago, he had married Amina, his heart full of dreams and promises. Their future seemed as bright as the morning sun, but the shadows of an old legend loomed over them. The village elders had spoken with grave voices and solemn expressions, warning all who would listen about the forbidden river. They recounted tales of a mermaid, a siren of enchanting beauty but with a heart as cold as the depths of the river. Her wrath, they said, was swift and merciless against those who dared to trespass into her domain. Yet, Kofi's ambition overshadowed his respect for these ancient warnings. He had heard the stories, but he dismissed them as mere folklore, something to amuse the old and superstitious. His heart was set on making a grand catch, one that would prove his prowess and bring honor to his new family. As he prepared his fishing gear, Amina's fingers lingered on his arm. Her eyes, filled with concern, met his. "Kofi," she said softly, "the elders warned us. You must not go to that river." Kofi smiled reassuringly, though his eyes betrayed a hint of defiance. "Amina, my love, these are just old tales. I have faith that I will return with a great catch, and then we will have everything we need." With that, Kofi set out toward the forbidden river, his heart brimming with hope and a touch of recklessness. The path was overgrown and wild, a stark contrast to the well-trodden routes of the other rivers. As he approached, the air grew colder, and a sense of unease settled over him. The river's surface shimmered under the sun, inviting yet ominous. Kofi cast his line, and it wasn't long before he felt a tug, one that was stronger than anything he had experienced before. With a mix of excitement and trepidation, he reeled in his catch, only to find himself staring into the face of a mermaid, her beauty both mesmerizing and terrifying. Her eyes, deep and fathomless, locked with his. A mournful sigh escaped her lips, carrying with it an icy chill. "You dare to defy the warnings?" she asked, her voice a haunting melody that seemed to echo from the river's depths. Kofi tried to speak, but the words caught in his throat. Before he could react, the mermaid's form seemed to waver and twist, her beauty darkening with a look of intense fury. A cold, shadowy mist enveloped Kofi, and as he staggered back, the world around him began to fade. In moments, the once bright riverbank was swallowed by darkness. Kofi's vision vanished, leaving him in an abyss of his own making. The mermaid's voice, now a mere whisper, lingered in his ears. "This is your punishment for ignoring the ancient wisdom. You shall see no more." As Kofi stumbled back to his village, his heart was heavy with regret and despair. The once vibrant world was now a realm of shadows and echoes. The villagers' faces, once full of life and color, were now indistinguishable. Amina's touch was his only solace as she guided him through the darkened landscape of his new existence. The tale of Kofi's folly and the mermaid's curse spread through the village, a sobering reminder of the power of ancient warnings and the price of pride. In the darkness of his blindness, Kofi found a new purpose, dedicating his life to the wisdom he had once ignored and seeking redemption for his transgressions. The village of Akwan, with its thatched roofs and vibrant market stalls, seemed a world apart from the cold and unforgiving darkness that had become Kofi's reality. The once familiar surroundings were now an unfamiliar maze of shadows and sounds. He stumbled through the village streets, guided only by Amina's steady hand and the faint echoes of voices that seemed distant and distorted. The villagers gathered to witness Kofi's return, their expressions a mix of astonishment and sorrow. The elders, seated in a circle beneath the ancient baobab tree, observed the scene with grim faces. They knew that the curse had claimed yet another victim, and their warnings had proven all too true. As Kofi was led to his modest home, the weight of his transgression pressed heavily on his shoulders. His heart ached not just from the physical loss of sight but from the profound realization of his arrogance. He had defied the wisdom of the elders and now paid the ultimate price. Amina, with tears streaming down her face, helped him into their home. The walls, once filled with the promise of a bright future, now seemed to close in on them, the darkness mirroring the void within Kofi's heart. She guided him to a mat where he sat, his hands trembling as he tried to grasp the reality of his new existence. Why did this have to happen? Amina's voice was choked with emotion as she spoke, her hands brushing against Kofi's face. You were warned, and yet... I thought I could change my fate, Kofi whispered, his voice hollow. I thought I was strong enough to overcome the legends and superstitions. Now, I am lost. Amina knelt beside him, her presence a beacon of comfort in his abyss. She took his hands in hers, offering a silent promise of support and love. Though Kofi could no longer see her, he could feel the warmth of her touch and the strength of her resolve. The days that followed were marked by a deep and pervasive sadness. Kofi's blindness forced him into a new way of life, one where he had to rely on his other senses and the help of those around him. Amina became his guide and caretaker, her dedication unwavering despite the challenges they faced. News of Kofi's misfortune spread throughout Akwan. The villagers, once enchanted by his youthful bravado, now regarded him with a mix of pity and respect. The story of the mermaid and the cursed fisherman became a somber legend, passed down from one generation to the next as a cautionary tale. The elders called a meeting to address the aftermath of Kofi's disobedience. Under the shade of the baobab tree, they gathered, their faces etched with wisdom and sorrow. The curse has claimed its toll, Elder Juma spoke, his voice resonating with authority. Our warnings were not mere tales but truths meant to guide and protect. The river holds powers beyond our understanding, and those who defy its boundaries must face the consequences. Elder Amina, the matriarch of the village, added, we must honor Kofi's plight by ensuring that future generations heed the wisdom of our ancestors. His story should serve as a reminder of the balance between respect and arrogance. The village agreed to create a new tradition in honor of Kofi's experience. A yearly ceremony would be held by the river to appease the spirit of the mermaid and to remind the villagers of the importance of heeding ancient warnings. It was a gesture of respect for the old ways and a means of acknowledging the pain of those who had suffered due to ignorance. Kofi's new life was one of reflection and redemption. Though he could no longer see the world, he became deeply attuned to the rhythms and sounds of his surroundings. He spent his days listening to the stories of the elders, absorbing their wisdom with a newfound humility. Despite the challenges, Kofi was determined to make amends for his actions. He offered his services to the village, helping with tasks that relied on his remaining senses. He became a storyteller, sharing his experience with those who would listen, and a guide for others who ventured near the forbidden river. Through his efforts, Kofi found a sense of purpose. He realized that while he could not undo the curse, he could use his experience to teach others the importance of respecting ancient knowledge and traditions. His life became a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the possibility of redemption even in the face of dire consequences. Amina remained by his side, her unwavering support a source of strength. Together, they built a new life within the constraints of Kofi's blindness. Their love endured, and though their dreams had shifted, they found solace in their shared resilience and commitment to each other. As the years passed, Kofi's story became woven into the fabric of village life. The annual ceremony by the Forbidden River became a cherished tradition, attended by villagers and travelers alike. The tale of the fisherman who had dared to defy the river's warnings was recounted with reverence and caution. Kofi's legacy lived on through the lessons he imparted. His life, marked by both pride and humility, served as a powerful reminder of the balance between ambition and respect. The river, once a source of fear, became a symbol of the wisdom that guided the village and the importance of honoring the past. In the twilight of his life, Kofi would often sit by the riverbank, guided by the familiar sounds of the flowing water and the rustling of the trees. Though he could not see the beauty of the landscape, he found peace in the knowledge that his story had made a difference. Amina, now older and still devoted, would sit beside him, their hands intertwined. Together, they reflected on the journey that had brought them to this moment, the journey marked by mistakes, redemption, and the enduring power of love. The river continued to flow, its surface shimmering with an ethereal glow under the moonlight. It remained a place of both mystery and reverence, its depths holding secrets that only the mermaid truly understood. As the years went by, the legend of Kofi and the mermaid became a cherished part of the village's lore. The story was passed down through generations, the reminder of the ancient wisdom that guided their lives and the enduring spirit of those who had lived through its trials. And so, the river whispered its secrets to those who would listen, its currents carrying the echoes of the past and the promises of the future. In the heart of the village, the legacy of the fisherman lived on, a testament to the power of humility, respect, and the unbreakable bonds of love. One day, as the sun cast its golden rays over the village of Akwan, a stranger arrived. His clothes, though worn, were of fine material, and his demeanor was marked by an air of mystery. The villagers, accustomed to the occasional visitor, were intrigued by this new arrival who moved with an unusual grace and purpose. The stranger, whose name was Kofi Amara, had heard the tale of Kofi, the fisherman cast by the mermaid. His curiosity had led him to Akwan, driven by a quest to understand the ancient legends and to seek out the truth behind the mysterious curse. As he approached the village square, Kofi Amara was greeted with cautious curiosity. He made his way to the elders, seeking an audience with them. The villagers, eager to learn more about this enigmatic figure, watched as he spoke with the leaders of their community. Elder Juma, and now an old man with a deepened understanding of the river's mysteries, welcomed Kofi Amara with a mixture of curiosity and caution. "What brings you to our village?" he asked, his eyes sharp despite his age. "I have come to learn," Kofi Amara replied, his voice calm and measured. "I have heard the story of Kofi and the mermaid, and I wish to understand the truth behind it. I seek knowledge and perhaps the way to undo the curse that binds the fisherman's fate." The elders exchanged glances, recognizing the significance of this quest. They knew that such a journey could either bring enlightenment or further peril. They agreed to share what they knew, hoping that this stranger's search for answers might reveal something new. Kofi Amara's quest led him to the heart of the Forbidden River, where he immersed himself in the ancient lore of the region. He spent days studying old manuscripts and speaking with the village elders, piecing together fragments of forgotten knowledge. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Kofi Amara met with Kofi, the blind fisherman, who had become a source of wisdom and reflection for the villagers. Despite his blindness, Kofi's insights were profound, shaped by his experiences and the lessons he had learned. Kofi Amara began, "I seek your guidance. The stories tell of a powerful mermaid and a curse. Do you believe there is a way to lift the curse or to appease the spirit of the river?" Kofi, his voice steady despite his blindness, replied, "The curse was a consequence of my disobedience. The mermaid's wrath was not just for me but for all who disregard the ancient wisdom. To lift the curse, one must show true humility and respect, not just for the mermaid but for the traditions and the natural world." Kofi Amara listened intently, absorbing the gravity of Kofi's words. He realized that the journey to undo the curse would require more than mere action. It demanded a profound transformation of heart and spirit. Guided by Kofi's wisdom, Kofi Amara prepared for a ritual of reconciliation aimed at appeasing the spirit of the river and seeking forgiveness from the mermaid. The villagers gathered to witness the ceremony, their anticipation mingled with a deep sense of reverence. The ritual involved offerings of sacred herbs, crafted with care and intention. These offerings were placed along the riverbank, accompanied by chants and prayers invoking the spirits of the ancestors. The air was thick with a solemn energy as Kofi Amara, dressed in traditional garments, led the ceremony with respect and humility. As the ritual progressed, the river seemed to come alive with an ethereal presence. The water, once dark and foreboding, began to shimmer with a faint, otherworldly glow. The villagers watched in awe as the river responded to the offerings, the atmosphere charged with a sense of profound significance. On the final night of the ritual, as the moonlight bathed the river in its silvery glow, Kofi Amara and Kofi sat by the water's edge, awaiting any sign from the mermaid. The silence was profound, broken only by the gentle rustling of leaves and the murmuring of the river. Suddenly, a soft, melodious voice emerged from the depths. The mermaid appeared, her form shimmering like moonlight on the water's surface. Her eyes, once fierce and cold, now held a semblance of sorrow and understanding. "You have come with a pure heart and a sincere desire for redemption," the mermaid's voice echoed. "The offerings and the respect you have shown have touched the essence of the river. The curse was not just a punishment but a lesson in humility and the power of ancient wisdom." Kofi Amara and Kofi listened with bated breath as the mermaid continued. "Though I cannot undo the past, I will grant you a blessing. The village will prosper, and those who heed the warnings of the river will be protected. As for you, Kofi, though your sight will not be restored, your journey will be marked by wisdom and understanding." The mermaid's form began to fade, her presence gradually dissolving into the river's depths. The river, once again settled into its calm and serene state, the air now filled with a sense of peace and renewal. With the mermaid's blessing, the village of Akwan began to experience a period of prosperity and harmony. The river, once feared, became a source of reverence and respect. The annual ceremony continued, and the story of Kofi and the mermaid was shared with a newfound appreciation for the lessons it carried. Kofi Amara, having fulfilled his quest, departed from Akwan with a sense of accomplishment. His journey had not only brought him closer to understanding the mysteries of the river but had also contributed to the healing of a community. Kofi, the blind fisherman, remained a revered figure in the village. His life, marked by both sorrow and redemption, served as a powerful reminder of the importance of humility and respect. He continued to share his story, imparting wisdom to those who sought it. Amina, ever devoted, stood by Kofi's side. Their love endured, and their lives, though shaped by trials, were filled with a deep sense of purpose and fulfillment. Together, they found contentment in the knowledge that their struggles had led to positive change for their community. Years passed, and the river continued to flow, its waters now a symbol of balance and respect. The tale of Kofi and the mermaid became a cherished part of the village's history, a story told to each new generation to remind them of the power of wisdom and the consequences of pride. The river, with its shimmering surface and gentle currents, held the echoes of the past and the promises of the future. It remained a living testament to the enduring spirit of the village and the lessons learned from a time when the ancient wisdom was tested. In the quiet of the riverbank, where the sun cast its golden light upon the water, the legacy of Kofi and the mermaid lived on, a reminder of the delicate balance between humanity and the natural world, and the unbreakable bond between love, respect, and redemption. Years after the river's